Hello everyone and welcome back to Blues Focus TV for a bit of a different video today, but it's still transfer related, getting you excited for the summer. We all love a good transfer window, don't we, guys? I certainly do anyway. I love transfer videos. I just love this whole section of the season. The only missing part, obviously, is football itself, but I love the excitement, talking about who you're going to sign, who's available, all the little rumours. And also, I love a good kit reveal as well. So I suppose obviously we've still got one game left to play in the league at the moment, but we're just kind of getting you prepped for pre-season quite early. But yeah, so let's get straight into it. Today's video is a sponsored video, so thank you, Fiveyards. But today I'm going to be telling you all about Fiveyards, all about their platform, how you use it, what you can do on it, all sorts. And it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. So I'll read you what they're about from their website. So Fiveyards is a scouting platform. It is about proving you can spot talent in most realistic way possible, bar actually owning or working for a real football club. So it's a bit like being a scout for fun, really. It's a bit of a hobby. I'm in the scouting world myself, so I certainly enjoy using it. I'd highly recommend it to anyone who's aspiring to be a scout, especially. It's a good way to learn. But yeah, there are two ways to back players on Fiveyards. You can recommend a player through submitting a scout report, or back your opinion by buying the player with actual cash on the Fiveyards transfer market. So, it can be a bit of free fun, or there is a financial side to it if that's the sort of thing you're into. So build your squad, build a squad of players from unknown gems up to established superstars and players and stuff. So you can own between 1 and 100% of a player. So it's quite interesting. So we'll go a bit more into that. There is no limit to how many people can own a player. To find a player, go to the players and either type their name into the search bar or use the filter option to find the right man on the search menu. Once you find a player, you can click into their player card and see detailed player information and every scout report published on them. I will show you this in further detail on the targets that I've picked out for today's video. So it should be interesting. We keep talking about it. So if you can't find the player you're after, you can request that they be added by logging in or creating an account and then click the plus player icon. To buy a player, simply click on their blue price or click on the buy button on their player card. To deposit cash, by clicking on your account, selecting the Fiveyards wallet icon, there is a minimum deposit of £10. Every £10 of real life money converts to 1 million of Fiveyards currency. Remember, you can always withdraw your money in cash at the same conversion rate. So it's a bit like gambling in a sense. They do have lots of gamble aware adverts all over there. A lot of adverts and stuff and posts to make sure you're aware of what you're doing, keeping safe, and make sure you're just enjoying yourself and you're not going too far past the enjoyment limit. But yeah, so no, it's a very safe website, bit of fun, and if it's a different spin on gambling. It's a bit more, you're a bit more in touch, got a bit more control. And it's an element of excitement as well, because you really are sort of building your own team in a sense. So it's like owning your own mini football club, bit like FIFA Ultimate Team, really, but a lot less frustrating to all those foot champs players out there. We charge they charge a 5% transaction fee on the sell. Players can be bought and sold during Fiveyards transfer window, which are currently open every Tuesday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So, they've got their own live transfer market for players, which is really interesting. But the great thing about this is, you can invest in players and you get the money. You can get money from them through performance pay, which I'm about to talk you through now. But you can sort of build up your own wallet gradually, and you could have put in £10 to start with, and then later down the line could be coming out with £50, anything like that. It just depends how lucky you are, in a sense. But anyway, performance pay. When you've bought some players, you'll hopefully start seeing some returns on your stake in the form of the performance pay. They do have a full breakdown on the explanation of performance pay on the website, which I'll also leave down below. Familiarize yourself with the table below, which gives you a breakdown of how your players can win you money. I will leave the graphic of the table on the screen for you now, but just a quick example, say the competition, Champions League, if your player is starting in your team, if the player is starting in the Champions League, you get 650k, and if the team wins as well, if they score a goal, they also get 650k. If they assist a goal, they get 650k. It kind of works on so on. The lower you go a bit, so you look at English Championship, so the League Blues are in. If your player starts in the team and the team wins, then you get 30 grand. If they score a goal, you get 30 grand. And if they assist a goal, you get 30 grand. It's quite simple, but you can check that out whenever you want. You'll win a percentage of the performance pay proportionate to the stake you own in each retrospective player, with the table showing you rewards for 100% stakes. So obviously you'll only get those rewards for if you have 100% stake in them. If you only have, say, a 90% stake, then it'd be a bit less than that. You do the math. But yeah, so this is automatically credited to your Fiveyards wallet and can be withdrawn in cash at any time, subject to the £10 minimum withdrawal limit. Or you can use the money to buy more players and earn more performance play. It's really that simple. So you can definitely build up from there. You can follow other scouts on here that write their own reports. You can also write your own scout reports. So it's like being a little mini scout, really. And you don't have to invest money in this either. You can just be a scout and enjoy it in your own way. That's the beauty of Fiveyards, really. It can be for any sort of football fan that just is interested in the more scouting side of the game, and you can have a bit of fun with it. So there's a few other things that I'll talk you through later on when we're looking at some targets that I've picked out that I found on Fiveyards. There are things such as scout leaderboard, so a leaderboard for all the scouts that sign up, your 5-yard scout rating. So yeah, it's quite exciting. And then 5Yards have just put a little note for you all down here saying, first and foremost, 5Yards is about fun. You've always wanted the chance to prove you could do a better job than the pros. So good luck. But please remember, if you do decide to buy players, it's real money. So gamble sensibly. Really nice touch there from 5Yards, and definitely worth checking out. And I'm just going to talk you through what looking at players is like on 5Yards, really, and it's very in depth, as you'll see. So we're starting off with a defenders video. This video will be about potential defenders that Blues could look at in the summer transfer window. So I've picked out a few. I've picked 9 players. I did actually do my own list of players before I went on 5Yards, and I had about 30. And only 9 of them were on 5Yards at the moment, as it's still a relatively new piece of software. But as they said, you can request players. But yeah, just quickly before I get into looking at these 9 players, we will leave all the links down below for 5Yards. If you could go and click on those links and check them out, that'd be so much appreciated, because it helps us out massively, more than you know. So please go and click that link down below. It would be so appreciated. So thank you very much. But let's get straight into it now. Let's talk about those 9 players that I've picked out for Blues. Right, here we are. We'll start with Lewis Monsma from Lincoln City. So Lincoln City are actually having a good season this year. I believe they're in the top 6 in League One. I think they're like 3rd or 4th, and a very solid defence too. So there'll be a graphic on the screen now showing you what I'm seeing. And let's just talk through some of the basics about Lewis. So he's 23 years old. Position is obviously central defender. His nationality is Dutch. His current price on 5Yards is £5.5 million. So in equivalent, if I can get the maths right, That'd be to buy him. I believe that's 50 quid. Well, 55 quid to be exact. He's a very, very highly rated player, very young and constantly doing well. But prices, they lower and drop. So his price is very, very high right now, down to him being so in form in real life. And that's why I've picked him for Blues to actually look at, because he really does look like a promising prospect. So that was his current price. His performance pay at the moment, he's not earned too much on the performance pay of late because he's not played too much. So obviously you can buy him, you can sell him, you can track him. So if you just want to keep an eye on him, you can do that. Or you can scout him. So if you scout him, then you can just write a scout report on him, or you can look at other scouts reports, which we will look at briefly shortly. So, you can see his rise and duck in player price. This is probably not one of the best players to look at so far because he's not got too many reports on him. But that was just one of the targets that I picked out. But no, he's been highly, highly raved about this season at Lincoln. I think Lincoln either have I think they have like the second or third best defense in the league, if I'm correct. And he has been the main cause of that. Still very young, and if he's performing so well at that level at such a young age, it does excite you, those sort of players. Bringing on to another League One player, another young lad, a player who I've actually scouted myself in person, and that's Oxford United's Rob Atkinson, 22 years of age, central defender, nationality English. His current 5-yards price is 4.5 million, so that's 45 quid. He's not got much performance pay at the moment of late, but he has had earlier performance pays. Buy and sell, obviously I've talked you through that. You can track him, scout him. There is a little graph here that you can look at his player price and how it's gone up and down. So from January 7th, it's gone from 4 million up to April 8th, where it became the price it is now, which is 4.5, and it's stayed that since. So this is the exciting bit. At the bottom here, you've got latest scout reports from scouts on 5-yards. So the 5-yard scouting community opinion, player rating, his level right now out of 100 is 61. But he has the potential of a 74, which is quite impressive for his age. I'll talk you through how 5-yards explain player rating. But this is it here. There'll be another little graphic on your screen now for you to look at. So player rating is out of 100, with 5 being Sunday League and 95 being world class. So he has the potential. He just Premier League is 75 and his potential 74. So he just misses out on Premier League, but that means he's top Championship for his potential. Right now, though, he is currently just below Championship, but high League One, which is where he's at in his career. So, let's look at one of these scout reports. There's 3 down here. There's one from Ellis Mordecai that says he's a strong buy. And then another one down here from Matt Woods, who said he's just a standard buy. So that's sort of like a recommendation, basically. But to help you pick a scout report to look at, you've got scout ratings down the side. So ratings that these scouts have been given out of 100 on average by other people. Matt Woods has a scout rating of 71, and Ellis, who said strong buy, has got a scout rating of 55. So we'll look at Matt Woods, who made this report on Rob 106 days ago. Here we are. So his level is currently 60. His potential from Rob is 75. His price recommendation is 4 million. This season, anyone who's had Rob Atkinson in their team have made a profit of 500k. There's a little attributes graphic down here for you to look at as well. So his technique is relatively high. Finishing, obviously not that high because he's central defender. Dribbling's all right for a defender. Speed, standard. Aerial ability is good. Defensive duels is brilliant. Work rate is brilliant. Passing, not so good. Creativity also not so good either. Apologies for the phone noise. I'll turn my torch on. But yeah, so it's an interesting one, really. As we go further down, you've got tactical and technical. So it's just talking about him in depth, which will also come up on your screen now. You've got team system and role within it. I'll give you a brief rundown from this. Atkinson played for National League side Eastleigh before being spotted by Oxford of League One. He was loaned back to Eastleigh, but now is recalled due to injuries. Oxford started the 2021 season poorly, but have changed form since the arrival. They play a nice brand of football. To this date, 20 games played. So that's on the 18th of January. Without Rob, Oxford have got a 0.86 points per game. And with him, they've got a 1.69 points per game. That is an amazing, amazing stat in Rob's favour. And that's not just a coincidence. It is clear he is up to the standard of League One and potentially beyond that. So very exciting. And then you've got another one here, so shades of. Before he joined Oxford and Eastleigh in the Vanarama National League, Atkinson was compassionately known as the Vanarama Van Dyke. There you go. Always good to hear. What club would he be perfect for? Leeds, Sheffield United or Brighton, any lower Premier League who like their centre-backs to play. Physical traits, he's a big boy, 6'4". Additional info, based on 13 games he's played in League One, it is clear that he will play the majority of his career in a higher tier, be that with Oxford, who are playoff outsiders currently, or with a team with a good scouting department. Atkinson played his youth career in Cannes in France, so that's interesting. So I wouldn't rule out a move to a mid-tiered club on the continent. And then down here, you can see stats on Matt, who is the scout that has wrote this report. Scout rating 71. He's got 3 followers and a Fiveyards profit of £23.3 million. So that's over 230 quid. So fair play. So, you know, that's where Fiveyards can get you. So we'll move on to some other targets that I've picked out. Max Kilman, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's just one of the few players that I was able to find on here. I think a lot of Blues fans might be familiar with him being a Wolves player, still 23 years old. He's actually played his fair share of Premier League football this season, on and off. He's been involved in the Europa League. I just think he probably will stay at Wolves and build from there. But if Wolves brought in some more centre-backs, you know, they've got some quality defenders there already in Dendoncker, Bolly, Cody, Saiz. The list goes on, really. So there's a lot of competition for Kilman there, especially if they made any more additions in the summer. Definitely a possible loan target for me that Blues could look at. Local boy as well. So he's 23 years old, central defender, nationality England. Current price is £15 million. Performance pay this season is 650k. What we got going on, Danny? He's had 4 wins. He's been a part of 4 wins this season, and he's got 1 assist. The 4 wins he was a part of, he's not started in any of them, but his 1 assist is what's earned him his performance pay. His player price, you can see that he's gone from around about £3 million from July 1st all the way up to over, I think his height was £16 million in February 1st, but has since gone down to £15 million from £16 million come May 5th. So good little graph for you there. He's got 2 scout reports made on him down here. We'll look at this one, Nick Goff, who's got a scout rating of 23. What we got going on. So profit this season, Max Kilman has made 13.8 million profit. Not just this season, that's overall, sorry. Player rating 66, potential 74. So, his potential is high. Championship, just misses out on the Premier League, but right now he is a championship level player. So that's why I do think he would suit Blues. Attributes, he's got good technique, not so good finishing, but he is a centre back. Average dribbling, really, for a defender. Decent speed, good aerial ability, decent defensive duels. Work rate is definitely one of his top attributes. But one of his other top attributes is passing. So his passing and technique are very high, which would be good for any ball playing side. And I know Blues have tried to be a ball playing side at times. Whether Lee Bowyer will try and be that next season, who knows? So team system and role within it, his best role is left-sided centre-back, but capable of playing left-back or even left wing-back if required. Strong at defensive set pieces, yet to make an impact at senior level from attacking set pieces, but we'll expect to see this added to the game, added to his game with more minutes under his belt. Style of play, unusual background in that he has 25 caps for England at futsal. Technically strong as a result, comfortable with both feet, sees the game developing ahead of him well, perhaps because futsal is so fast-paced. At 6'4", aerially imposing and aggressive in a duel. Shades of Matt Hummels, which is a very, very highly rated comparison. What club would he be perfect for? Fulham. Physical traits, height is his most obvious trait, as he's 6'4", and his frame has filled out in the past 2 to 18 months into a far more imposing figure who now looks ready to test himself at Premier League level regularly, should the opportunity arise. Appears very well grounded mentality-wise, takes everything in his stride, being patient for game time, depending on Wolves' summer recruitment. A championship loan isn't out of the question, so that's why I've suggested him for Blues. Though if they qualify for Europe again, a crammed, shortened season may require him to stay where he is for squad depth. So we'll quick look at Nick Goff, scout rating 23, 12 followers, and a Fiveyards profit of £6 million. So that's 60 quid. We'll go back and look at some of the other targets I've picked out for Blues. Who else we got? Where are you guys? So if you are an avid Premier League follower, then you may know of this lad. He's been on loan at Kidderminster last season, not had the best introduction into the Premier League with Liverpool, really. Struggled on the big stage, but it's a very big step up from Kidderminster Harriers to Liverpool. So it is hard, really. It is hard. And that's Reece Williams of Liverpool, age 20, central defender, nationality English. His current price is £22 million, and his performance pay this season is 680k. So that's very impressive. He's gained that from one start and win in the Champions League and one start and win in the Premier League. So that's given him his performance pay. His player price has actually been higher than it is now. It's reached its all-time high on December 17th with 30 million. It has now since dropped down by May 5th to 22 million. So interesting stuff, really. We go down to the scout reports now. We will look at Mike Burrows, who is a Fiveyards team member with a scout rating of 35. What we got going on? He has caused negative profit for people this season, in a minus 4.9 profit. So he's not quite made back any money yet for anyone who's bought Reece Williams. But this scout does rate him very highly, and he says his level right now is 73, which is high championship, and his potential is 86, which is a big statement. That's Champions League level, so that's a huge shout from Mike Burrows, but that is all the details on him there, unfortunately. So we'll move on to the next player who I picked out, and that is young Norwich defender, only 18 years old, Andrew. I'm really sorry if I spelled this wrong, but Omobamidele. I'm going to go with Andrew Omobamidele. Go with that. So age 18, central defender, nationality English, His current price is 17 million. I've picked him personally because I believe with Norwich going up to the Premier League, they will look to strengthen, obviously, and he's not got that much game time in the Championship at all this season. So I think a loan to a Championship or League One side is definitely likely, but he's very highly rated. So yeah, his current price, £17 million. Not much performance pay this season, but his value has stayed the same for a while. There's only one scout report on him, and that's a strong buy report from Sam Jackson. So we'll take a look at this. What do we got going on? So his level right now is 68, which is very high Championship. Well, it's not very high. It's decent. It's decent. It's average Championship, but potential is 90, which is, Champions League level and just shy of world class. So that's, high recommendation from Sam, and that's all he's put down for this one. It's quite cool how you can look at your squad, by the way. It keeps it all together well, and, your track list is all very organised and stuff. So I've got three more players even to look at. And we'll start with this young Sheffield Wednesday lad who's on the fringes of the first team at the moment in a struggling Wednesday side. And that is, again, I apologise if I get this wrong, but it's Osazazi Orogij. We'll go with that. Arogide. I give up. But so his age is 20. We'll just go with Azaze. We'll go with Azaze. That's his name now. Age 20, position central defender, nationality English. His current price is 12 million. Performance pay this season is 150k, and he's got that from being involved in 5 wins for Wednesday this season. So his points per game must be decent. There is unfortunately no reports on him, but his value has stayed the same ever since he joined Fiveyards, and that's 12 million. So yeah, decent one. And I've picked him because if Sheffield Wednesday go down, then it'd be a great young talent to snipe away from him. And it's certainly a player that Blues can develop. So on to the last two lads that I've picked out. Here we are. Starting with Josh Knight, who is currently at Wycombe Wanderers on loan from Leicester. 23 years of age, position central defender, nationality English. Current price is 4.5 million. His performance pay this season is 270k, which is decent, 8 wins, 1 goal at Wycombe this season. His price on December 23rd was 5 million. It's since dropped to 4.5 million in April. And that's all there is on Josh Knight at the moment. But I've seen bits of him myself this season for Wycombe, and he's definitely a young, promising defender. So it'd be exciting to see where he goes next after this season. Might be another decent loan option for Blues. I've definitely kept my eye on young talent when doing this, and also affordable players. And this does bring me on to my last player that I've picked out for Blues. Interesting one, this one, actually. And that's Leeds United's Pascal Strujic, 21 years of age, central defender, nationality is Dutch. Current price is £18 million, and his performance pay this season is £1 million. So that's decent. He's been involved in 7 wins for Leeds and also scored 1 goal in the Premier League. His value has risen from 17 million on January 28th up to 18 million come April 26th. His 5-yard scouting community opinion, his player rating is 76 now, which is Premier League. And then his potential is 87, which is just, I do believe, just above Champions League. So very, very high regard there. Technique is good. Finishing not so good. Dribbling average. Speed is really good for a central defender. Aerial ability, very impressive. But his defensive jewels is immense. Work rate is very good, but his passing ability is fantastic. So again, another ball-playing centre-back that is a decent option with also good technique. So as we go down, there's some decent recommendations here. We'll look at Joe Morgan, who's got a scout rating of 84, certainly the highest I've seen so far. So let's take a look. Profit this season that Strujic has bought is 1.4 million. What we got going on? His player rating, which has been given by this young scout, is 75. So that's Premier League, and his potential is 85, which is Champions League. He's rated quite highly on attributes. He's given us a good insight actually down here, to be fair. So I'll read this to you. His team system and role within it. Thrown into the first team due to injuries, has played centre-back and defensive midfielder this season for Leeds. Style of play, he's composed on the ball and seems to always make the right decision. A classy centre-back with an eye for a pass. Physical traits, does very well in physical battles and competes well in the air. Decent turn of pace and is mobile enough to be able to play well in midfield too. So he's very versatile, which is good to hear. Mentality was written off by some after an appearance at Cardiff in the Championship, but he's more than proving his worth to the team now. His first season of senior football comes with a newly promoted top flight side, and he looks very comfortable in and out of possession. Additional info, he was schooled at Ajax, no thrills or spills, very comfortable bringing the ball out from the back and playing passes into midfield, breaking lines. His defensive awareness is pretty good and he's tactically disciplined. Apparently applied for a Belgian passport with Roberto Martinez, keen to get him called up for the national side. One with plenty of potential and could be a top defender for years to come. Has shown a knack of finding space in the opposition box from set pieces. Just needs to work on finishing, but occasional chance to be a threat at both ends. 17 million seems a fair price. Not a bargain, but not overly expensive either. Could well see his value increase, but the season is out, but looks a good long-term buy. So that was a great report, very in-depth there, especially in the additional info from Joe Morgan, who is a very highly rated scout rating of 84, got 15 followers, and his profit is £199.7 million. So it's a lot of cash. Fair play. However, that does now bring us to the end of this video. That is the end of the 5 yards targets that I picked out. However, I will be doing my own transfer target video, and we'll look at some of the targets that I've picked out that aren't on the 5 yards website. And there is a few more senior players rather than just the young players. I think that's key. A few decent little nifty possible free transfers that Blues could do for more experienced central defenders. But yeah, so no, that's 5 yards, and there's some brilliant scout reports on there that you can go and look at. And it's also a bit of fun as well, especially if you like a bit of gambling, then I highly recommend it. It's definitely a very engaging platform, but it's also engaging for anyone that doesn't want to gamble and just wants to feel what it's like to be a scout, really, and analyse some young up-and-coming talents. But there's definitely a lot of potential loan targets in that list I've compiled there for Blues, and I'd be happy to see any of them come over to Blues, really. So we can all hope. But yeah, no, that's it from 5 yards and me, guys. But please go and check out the description and click the links. Go check out 5 yards. It helps us out as well as helping them out. So it'd be much appreciated. It helps me bring more videos for you guys. This is a 3-part series. This is part 1. I will be looking at midfielders next. That'll be coming out next week, hopefully. And then obviously the final part of the 3-part series, we'll be looking at attackers. There does seem to be more midfielders and attackers on the 5 yards website. So hopefully I can bring you even more targets then, which will be brilliant. And I look forward to doing that. But I will bring you my own sort of transfer special video that's just from players, in my opinion, as well. But that's it from me, guys. So please go check out those links. Thank you very much. And also, if you're feeling extra kind, then I'm sure the Patreon link will be down there as well. Thank you for joining me as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep right on.